Team Liquid's turn to pick.
And we're back for game number 2 of our lone best of 3 of the day here on the D2L Western Challenge. Going to be Cloud9 matching up against Team Liquid and TL. Well, they jumped out and snuck one. They managed to bring down a game 1 win, and now just 1 win away from upsetting Cloud9. I don't think it's any stretch at all to say it would be a flat-out upset for C9 to lose. And granted, since the beginning of the month, C9 has pretty much split their series. I want to say they're 3-2 over their last 5 professional series, being best of ones, best of threes, or what have you.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
for Team Liquid, I mean, they've been struggling, but they showed us, and I was kind of wrapping things up at the end there, Trout. You called it kind of a cheesy strat. Like, to me, in Dota, there's nothing that really qualifies as cheese unless it's a whole lineup that's like built around exploiting one bug. Or something like that. Whereas with Liquid, I just feel like it was a lineup that was well drafted to do one thing really well, and they executed it.
Yeah, that's why I don't really think cheese is the right word. I just see those heroes. I'm like, oh god. Like if you're on the other team, you're like, oh god, really? Like that's kind of what goes through your mind.
Right.
But yeah, and I was able to watch most of that, and so their pushing power is just so strong, and you really nailed it on the head last game where you said, one of the good counters to Ember is, I think of traditionally, lockdown with Rasta, Lion, or stuff like that. But you were like, the pushing, you get up in their face, you start pushing towers, his effectiveness starts to fall off, and
Yep.
I think you were really right about that. He wasn't able to contribute as much as he could have because the towers were just dying so damn fast.
Yep. Never had, it wasn't like Sing Sing was playing bad. Like at the very end when I was wrapping up, collectively, I can't remember what it was. It was like 11-2. Eternal Envy and Sing Sing were in that game, and only a 32-minute game. Like, how many times can you look at someone and go, I can predict that in a 30-minute game, Sing Sing and Eternal Envy for Cloud9 will be a collective 11-2, and they will lose. Like,
Yeah.
It's a rarity, but it really was just so well executed by Team Liquid.
Actually, in most pushing style lineups, usually the team that wins that has the pushing, their scores actually sometimes don't even look that good.
Yep.
Like you'll see sometimes a Lycan be 1-5-2, and a Rasta be something similar. It's very funny, but then you'll see the GPMs, you're like, oh my god,
Yep.
and it all starts to make sense. But yeah, if Liquid's able to take this out, especially in 2 games, not even 3, but 2 games, I think it would not only say a lot to the community about how they're really kind of bouncing back, but I think more importantly, it'd be a big motivation factor for all these players, because I do know that they're kind of emotionally charged players, some of them anyway.
Yeah.
Especially Demon, who's a stand-in, but he played fantastically in the early game last game too.
Right.
For the short time I was there, he got so much damn farm on Rasta, and I think that's really important early on. When there was kind of a rocky start for them. Venomancer Way 2 had, I think, 2 CS, and Rasta had 26 at that time.
Yeah, that doesn't sound surprising to me at all. I mean, that's a storyline that's almost worth touching on, just in and of its own right. I mean, Demon playing for Liquid and how well he's seemed to fit in and gel this squad together, but his maturation as a player, ever since, obviously when he was a part of EG, then he got the old EG boot, and I've got a funny story about that I'll tell sometime. But since then, just as a player, he has really shined at being able to fill in for folks, be it Fnatic at the D2L Season 4 Finals, be it Cloud9 at the South by Southwest Invitational. He did a great job there, and now for Team Liquid. I mean, and I think that shows his growth as a player so much. The fact that he has gone from being the guy who builds a Blink Dagger on Quap because he's got a 5,000 net gold lead, and I saw him do that twice, not once, but twice. He's gone from that player to the player who just goes, what do you need? And whatever they tell him to do, he goes and does it in really, really good fashion.
I mean, there's a reason people love to say EG throws, Demon throws, and stuff like that, because it's funny, it blows up on Twitch chat. It's funny. It's fun, But in all seriousness, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty and, the important matches, that's when Demon, I think, has really impressed me, especially when he went to some of the lands as a stand-in. It was some of the most impressive play I've seen from him. So when the games count, not necessarily on his stream when he randomly pop in and he's feeding his ass off 1-17 and 4, and he's just laying there eating some soup or whatever. No, in the games that matter, man, he owns. So yeah, props to him.
Enough about him. Love you, Jimmy. But we got to move on to the topic at hand, which is the draft. Bad Rider and Luna picked up for Cloud9, so we'll see Boat 7 most likely back on the bat. While Eternal Envy looks like he didn't like the way the Morphling tasted in Game 1. He'll be switching it up to a Luna flavor here in Game 2. Then for Team Liquid, they grab the Invoker and a Centaur and Ancient Apparition, already once again building a lot of AoE. Between the Stomp, between the AoE damage comes off of Double Edge, of course, Ancient Apparition's Ice Blast, and depending on how they build an Invoker, be it a Quas Wex, if it's a Quas Wex, I mean, they've just got so many ways to mass teamfight.
I don't understand the Wraith King ban at all. Like, the ban is basically, we saw Liquid run it several times, but have they won? I could be wrong. But I know that TC plays him as a carry, and okay, this is probably their thinking: is Batrider goes and lassos Wraith King, but then he, his ultimate comes up and he slows everybody, so you just don't go on him. Right. I feel like there's like this fad for Wraith King right now, and I'm not buying into it. I love the hero, believe me. I think he's fun in pubs, but I'm not buying into the one position Wraith King. I actually do like him as a support, and this goes back to what we talked about yesterday with the Blink Dagger change, because with Strike Throws it's so much better to get Blink Dagger now, but as a one, not a fan. Don't know if I ever will be a fan of a one-position Wraith King.
Team Liquid picking up the Spectre. Do want to say I love it when people I co-cast with that are the knowledgeable ones, the in-depth ones, the insight ones. I love to hear you guys take a stand. Just take a stand. Because oftentimes, like, well, you got to be diplomatic. It's like, well, the Wraith King can be good in situations. Now, sometimes it's like, no, I hate it. I hate it so much.
It sucks.
Exactly.
No, that's not to say, like, there might be some instance when it could be good. Like, it could be, but I just think there's better heroes, like, 9 times out of 10. So. And like Spectre, for instance. There you go.
Spectre, and then the Mirana counterpick. I shouldn't say counterpick, just picked up in response from Cloud9. Now, something that Cloud9 is going to have available to them if they want to, I think, is going to be an aggressive tri-lane. You've already got an Ancient Apparition out, and as powerful as Chilling Touch is, you really need to kind of have some built-in aggression. And, they could end up running the Invoker mid and Centaur in a solo lane as well, depending on how they wanted to go about that. But Spectre is very easy to bully around in lane. And when you already have a Vengeful Spirit out, you already have Luna, that's a double Aura to begin with. And, of course, Mirana, if you want to run her as a support, you can do that as well. Or you can just pick another aggressive support here. I think that's going to end up being a mid-Sing Sing Mirana, though. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I actually forgot about the Batrider entirely as well. When I'm looking at how Cloud9's going to lane this, it could potentially be, I don't know if Cloud9 ever runs Bat mid. Is that really a Sing Sing hero? Does he ever do that?
I mean, I'm sure they have at some point in their careers, but mostly you see a Mirana, generally speaking, you can just about bank that it'll be a Sing Sing Mirana, but again, they're going to pick up the Rubik. Fair amount of decent spells, I guess, to steal. Overall good support, but
I love picking Rubik into Mirana.
Yeah.
Because the arrow it really catches people off guard. It's an instant cast. It's one of my favorite Rubik heroes to play against, really, is that Mirana. So, yeah, I like the Rubik.
Eclipse, usually a fairly easy spell to steal as well, depending on, of course, how the fight plays out. But, yeah, I'm just very kind of enamored at the moment with what Cloud9's going to do. I feel like they have a chance to really shove Liquid around if they decide to go with another aggressive pick and send Mirana into mid with the bat off or bat solo safe. Yep, okay, so it's going to be a shaker. Don't know that they're going to get aggressive with it, but I would like their chances if they did. The double aura is just devastating, especially against Squish, like the Ancient Apparition, the Rubik, and Spectre, as we know. She kind of hits like a limp noodle early on, even if she does get Spectral Dagger up. And very often you'll see a max Spectral Dagger build to go with an Ancient Apparition just to give you a little bit more burst to try and shatter those heroes. But I don't know. If you were choosing the lanes here for Cloud9, would you stay defensive or go aggressive?
I don't know if I would go aggressive with Luna, Venge, Earthshaker. It's the range. I mean, Earthshaker has good range, but he's melee hero to begin with. Luna and Venge don't really have that much range. Even with the stun from Venge, it's not that far range. So it's kind of iffy because you don't want Spectre to freeform, but I still feel like safe laning this would be better. You're going to push towers faster. Spectre has no pushing power. Rubik is, actually the pushing power on Team Liquid's not that great unless you did an Exort Invoker. So I would still stick with the safe lane here if I was Cloud9.
Yeah, it's so hard to call. I mean, I feel like if you run in the O Tribe, it's always going to end up being a risky proposition. I mean, if it works out, obviously you're in great shape. And risk versus reward, the more I think about it, I agree with you. It's taking a big chance for what could be a decent amount of gain, but you're risking a lot because if things go bad and you have to start swapping lanes early on, that's just more time the Spectre has to herself, and you're going to find yourself behind even more so than you might have been if you just went straight defensive and then tried to collapse those supports through. So looks like after a brief pause, we are ready to go, and the teams loading up on their items and getting ready to head out very quickly. Let's see, are they going to head to the same place? Nope. Looks like we're going to have Cloud9 moving towards the enemy jungle. Did they buy a smoke? They did not, so they're just going to be heading out naked. And they may have a chance here as we see Way2, Demon, and TC are taking off as a three-man tandem all by their lonesome.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Bone 7 is going to buy his boots when he gets to the lane, or if he's just going to go straight jungle. I'm not quite sure, because he still has 525 saved up. But, yeah, here we go. Could see an early engagement.
Envy leading the way. Demons out front for Liquid. And we can see playing very defensive. He's actually going to poke his... Now, this is a little bit of a dangerous area to get into. You can be cut off. If you do exactly what he just did, you can very easily get cut off trying to come back out of that because you lose vision between the trees. And we see that almost happened. Envy missed him just by a second or two.
30 seconds.
But it doesn't look like we're going to have any action. And I want to see how they... Yeah, it looks like Bone 7 is already down here. And, yep, Envy taking off for top lane, so going to be relatively quiet. Horn's going to sound in about 15 seconds. We'll go ahead and take a look at our lineup, see who's handling who. TC going to be on the Spectre, as we know. Koikva is going to be taking the Invoker into mid. Way2, Demon, going to be playing on our Ancient Apparition with Bulba. Back in the off lane, this time on the Centaur, and Way2 playing on the Rubik. Other side of the river, Pylai Dai going to be playing on our Earthshaker. We're going to see, nice arrow to follow up the Fissure. There's a haste picked up by Demon as well. Uses a Chilling Touch. Here comes AUI. Gets off the Magic Missile. Can they get to him? Just in time. We see the Fissure ends up collapsing. Could not have gone better for Cloud9, and a wonderful play to start this game, hooking up with Pylai Dai and a great arrow from Sing Sing.
That's so much harder to do than it looks because
it is.
The ES Fissure level 1, the stun duration is so low. So if you actually saw, I'm pretty sure Murana actually cast it before the stun even finished. So really good job from him. And then the Vengeful Spirit, they both sat up there right next to the Fissure just waiting. And they got the maximum amount of damage that they could. So really well played.
Yeah, that's you make a great point. I mean, you see the Fissure go, it's a stun. And yes, it's going to immobilize them a little bit. But it has to be well shot, has to catch them in the right way, and the stun duration, if I'm not mistaken, level 1 is just 1 second. Yeah, exactly. So just 1 second of stun time. And I got there just in time as I was running through the lineups to see them decide to take that shot. And they did pretty much fire at exactly the same time. And actually is Bone 7 in mid right now up against Koikva.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like this would be the best idea. That's why I was wondering, do they ever run bat mid? So... yeah, I guess not by Sing, but by Bone 7, so I actually like this.
Pylai Dai using his Fissure to pull the creep wave over towards the Ancients. So now this is something I've actually talked extensively about with Fear, having casted with him and so on in the past, and just talking to him about this strategy in particular. Whenever you end up doing this with an Earthshaker, it really helps out your offlaner, and as we can see, Sing Sing right up under his own tower should be getting fair amount of farm, pretty much for free. He's going to miss a last hit there or two. But we'll come back to that thought in a minute as Demon is smoked through mid. We can see Bone 7 is quite far forward. He only has Chilling Touch skilled. Are they going to take a shot at him? They will. There's a Cold Snap Chilling Touch used. He's trying to make it away. Has enough mana for one sticky Napalm. Can they track him down? Using Bottle in between auto attacks. He is going to be telekinesis back down. Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication. If Demon had been there, if Demon had turned around a little sooner, he probably could have gotten off 2 auto attacks, but instead, Bone 7 makes it away by the skin of his teeth. Less than 20 HP he survived with there.
Yeah, also, Koikva only has Quas. He doesn't have Wex, so he doesn't have access to a second spell, so there's that. That's also always in retrospect, and you can go back and say, if you did have 2, he would have gotten a kill there, so kind of unfortunate. Yeah, Demon, a little bit of miscommunication there as well, but he has an Invis Rune. He might actually be able to net a kill up on Owie up top if Owie's not careful.
Looping his way around, as you said, Invis. He is still just level 1, so the experience right now for Liquid is beginning to hurt a little bit. And Bulba's right there. Yeah, looks like AUI sniffed that out. And Eternal Envy right there with him, just in case they did decide to dive. But taking a look at the early CS, we can see Koikva, despite failing on that gank in mid, Ends up with 16 CS. Bone 7's hanging right with him at 14. And looks like they're going to keep 2 up here for a little while. Demon in the trees. I didn't even see how I guess what did he do? Slide around and duck down? Oh, he ate his way through. I thought that tree was still standing.
Yeah.
That's such a Demon thing to do.
It really is, yeah. Cheeky plays, cheeky plays.
I remember when he used to play offlane Ancient Apparition, he would get a bunch of, like, buy a quelling blade and brown boots or have, like, his friends, his teammates pull him tangos, and he would eat his way into the trees and just sit there next to the lane and suck up experience that way. Yeah, he's still showing himself. There we go. Trying to get the slow off. This chilling touch. Bulba's going to eat the stun. The magic missile knocks him back. And this is very aggressive. They're going to try to go on AUI. The damage, enough. They're going to end up trading that away. That is not at all worth it. Not even remotely. Getting a kill against Avenge and giving up to Eternal Envy's Luna, a kill on your Centaur, no way that's worth it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I actually don't think that Bulba needed to use the double edge right there.
Yep.
There was a lot of damage on Avenge. Avenge already popped the stun. So using the double edge actually really, hurt his hit points, though. Yeah, I don't think that was really necessary. I think he could have actually lived if he didn't use that.
TC continuing to farm right in the face of Sing Sing, sitting on just 9 CS. TC's actually ahead, sitting at 13 right now. So things looking pretty all right now for, I'm sure if we check the graph, yeah, still a very close game. I'm actually a little surprised to see that C9 has that much of a lead. They're up to just shy of 1,000 gold lead, right around 750 at 5 minutes in. And granted, they do have a 1-kill advantage. And of course, that 1 kill being the first blood too. It just seems like they haven't been that much more efficient.
Yeah, they actually tried to gank. Oh, Spectre, he's going to die. The arrow connects with Sing Sing right after the stun from Aoi, and he will go down. They tried that just a second ago, but the Fisher missed from Pilot Eye. But good job from Sing Sing and Aoi. Aoi gets the kill for that, and now he's got boots.
Speaking of boots, Sing Sing already up with his own phase. We can see wards overlapping a little bit there. Way 2's just to the south of the tower. TC will be coming back in the lane, and Cloud9 will go ahead and grab a creep wave and drag it all the way back for a little bit more free CS for Sing Sing. Up atop, we can see Envy farming quite well, sitting at 24. That's third on the board. Koikfa, though, is just continuing to rack up the CS, and Koikfa is one of those guys you don't want to give an advantage. He will punish you for it, no matter what hero he's on.
Yeah, we saw his Invoker versus Na'Vi, and he really, unfortunately they didn't come out on top, but he was like a stand-up performance that game. He was just absolutely wrecking face with the EMP tornadoes, and yeah, his CS is he really does well in the mid lane, and we were talking about that too. We've just been continually impressed by him, so I'm expecting good things from this game. He picks up a haster in top, maybe goes top to kill Luna. One of the problems with Luna is she's quite easy to gank, so at least early on, but action bottom too at the same time.
Down at bottom, I'm going to see them jump on TC. They will secure the kill there. Koikfa moving up with the haste rune, looking to dive Envy, and will do so. Chasing back into the trees. There's a tornado EMP. The ultimate used by the Centaur as well, so they are going to end up trading carry for carry. Here comes the TP back. No, they canceled it. So not liking the way it looked. And Liquid able to end up trading there. Who comes out ahead? Better to kill the Luna or better to kill the Spectre?
It's kind of even at this point. It depends if... Well, actually, they wasted a TP up top, too, so I would actually give that to Liquid, and they're getting some good damage on this tower, so I would say a small victory for Liquid, or in their favor, small. So, yeah, it's pretty good for Liquid, I think.
2-4, Cloud9 doubling them up in kill score. Bone 7 is level 6, has moved into the jungle now, has 600, almost 700 gold towards his Blink Daggers, so should be able to have that up in relatively quick fashion. Bulba, in the meantime, has 900 up towards his own Blink with a set of Tranquil Boots, and we're going to see the Stomp actually misses, and they're going to be able to catch him with the Fissure. It actually blocked out Envy, though. Doesn't matter. A good follow-up stun, good chaining of everything there, and even though he blocked Envy, still getting off the Lucent Beam. So Liquid beginning to fall quite a bit behind. And I honestly, this is what's scary with a lineup like this. When you have a Spectre, it takes so much time for her to really come into her own that if you start to lose too much momentum early, it becomes such an unbelievably huge task to try and turn that around.
Yeah, and we saw Spectre drafted out from Empire yesterday, and I actually feel like this is a much better draft for her, though, when it comes to the mid to late game. There's still plenty of heroes that are killable, even if it is a 30 to 35 minute radiance. Like they're all still so squishy. It's going to cancel Blink initiation from both Earthshaker and Bat. So it's bad right now for the Spectre, but your initiation on the Bat actually.
Bone 7 caught out in the jungle, and the immediate haunt in from TC. Even though he doesn't get the kill, he's there to share in the glory. As Invoker, actually, the one to snag that up. And Quakefoot continues to look pretty solid so far. He's got 1,500 gold tucked away. Would imagine it's going to be a Midas he's after now that he's got his face up.
Yeah, I see him get a lot, so it'll be good for him. Centaur ulti has been coming into play numerous times this game, as we always talk about. Great job by Bulba. He's not too close to his blink, but not the worst timing in the world. This top tower is actually quite healthy, though, as enemies beating into it finally. But yeah, it hasn't taken too much damage. And that's the one thing I was talking about with C9. If they aren't going to go aggro, I think they needed to put more aggression onto that tower, but haven't been able to do so.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't broken the laning phase down more. I mean, I think they're just waiting on a couple of key items. They really want their Blink Dagger up on Bone 7, obviously. AUI is pretty damn broke, so not a whole lot he can do. But taking a look at the Luna, curious to see if she's going to go pure greed. I mean, at this point, she's going to have seen the Midas coming out on the Invoker, or at least anticipating. And already has gone Trez Aquila. You think it's going to be a pure greed sort of a build, either a Midas or a Helm of the Dominator, or do you think maybe she just goes straight for Magic Immunity? Hang on. Engagement on the Bulba at the top. There's the Eclipse. And one more Lucent Beam with some help from AUI, and that's another death on Bulba, and he's having a rough early game, now sitting at 2 and 3.
He really is. No, I don't think the Midas is going to be necessary here at all for EE, but the Helm of the Dominator certainly could be good for him. And they really want to defend this tower. They really have to, I feel. But yeah, Bulma, he's getting kind of picked off here several times. Here comes the AA Blast. Not going to hit anyone, though, unfortunately. But I was going to mention, very quick reactions, though, I was going to say by Luna, being played by EE. That was really fast with the ultimate. If he waited any longer, that ult would have hit creeps instead of the Bulba. So good timing there from Eternal Envy.
Bone rotating his way up, is about halfway towards his blink, has a nice stack on the hard camp here. Quakefoot is actually right beside him. And we see he's being pinged out. They do have a ward down right in lane, so they know exactly where Quakefoot is. And just saw this actually circled out now by Sing Sing, circled out in the jungle. Bulba has rejoined top lane. We continue to see Pylai Dai trying to catch up in level. He's actually doing a good job. He's up to level 6 already, which, given he started out doing nothing but using his fissure to stack ancients, or not stack ancients, but pull to the ancients. Not too bad. And ultimate shot, not going to catch anything. But Liquid seems to be just playing a very patient game, and I think that's key for them right now.
Yeah, and you know, EE's had a better start than Spectre as far as CS goes, but I actually think it scales a bit differently because I think Spectre is a bit more useful in the late stages of the game. So when you have Spectre at 33 CS and Luna at 42, I would actually consider that somewhat even. It sounds kind of weird, but if you know where I'm coming from, it's like Spectre is a little bit better in the late game, so if they're at equal levels of farm, Spectre's actually ahead.
Right.
So I actually think this is going not too badly despite the deaths that TC's had early on.
And here we go. They're going to try to engage on the Demon. Demon playing the part of baiting. Going to be bailed out by Quakefoot. Tornado EMP is there. A ultimate. He shatters, and a big turnaround as Liquid able to bait that out. And how good is Quakefoot? I mean, it's not the most difficult skill shot, but basically they couldn't even catch Demon, basically. Even though Demon was playing pure 100% bait, really couldn't do much to him. Quakefoot just right on the money with the Tornado EMP and the nice follow-up with the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's not just a skill shot thing. It's just being at the right place at the right time, knowing when to farm, knowing when to go roam. And Quakefoot seems to have it down. They're going to lose top tower, though, unfortunately, and it doesn't look like they're going to get bottom.
Yeah, bottom they're forced back on. And we saw a very close dodge from Sing Sing's arrow, so not a bad turnaround there from Cloud9 as they're able to trade one tower for just a little bit of damage. This one is still out of deny range, though, so will drop very quickly if they find themselves in a similar situation like that later on. We could see Liquid turn things up a little bit, but now beginning to fall a little bit further behind. 3,000 gold between the teams and less than 1,000 experience. So nonetheless, at 12 minutes in, 3,000 gold is not inconsiderable, but in terms of levels, it's not all that bad.
Yeah, if C9 does something right now, it'll be good because they've pushed this top tower, but they're not responding to get the lane back. Actually, as you saw, Pylai Dai TP bottom right away, so this is going to free up a lane for Bulba to get that faster blink, as he hasn't had the best early game, but he's at 1,600 gold now, so he has a free lane. He's going to get a couple waves, should have this blink in about a minute or so if this continues. So if C9's able to punish that and just get another tower, which it looks like they're going to. Well, we'll see. The Ice Blast is coming out, but no, that tower should still die.
They've got a glyph if they want to come in. And
yes, C9's getting kind of scared.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you get hit with an Ice Blast and you see zero reaction anywhere to the fact that you're about to take a free tower. I'd be scared too.
They're baiting top is what they're doing. So they actually have 2 supports. Well, not 2 supports, but 2 heroes. Smoke behind Bulba. And they're baiting Bulba. They're going to lose this tower bottom. But maybe they'll TP top with just 2 people. Or maybe just 1. And they'll try to get a kill on Bulba, but then milk the counter initiate. So we'll have to see how this works out. Or they're just going to push it. Never mind.
Yep. So they'll push and trade towers. No glyph up for Cloud9. I actually feel like that was a little wonky, to be honest. They could have just sent 1 or 2 people down to deal with Cloud9 and maybe shove that back out and perhaps save the tower. Even just sending Koikva down with Tornado EMP. And the threat of a response from the 3 that were top might have been enough to force C9 back and maybe allow them a deny. But at any rate, it's 4-6, and they continue to trade buildings, more or less. But it is still going in C9's favor. They're just continuing to build up gold and experience based on efficiency.
Radiant's bottom tower.
You can see Liquid is continuing to...
Oh, sorry about that. Did you mention anything about Bone 7 getting this 4-staff over Blink first?
I actually was looking at that, yeah. And hang on. Possible engagement here is going to be an AA ulti, and it is going to connect on just Pile Die. Sing Sing throws out the arrow, manages to connect Koikva, but here comes TC. The Moonlight Shadow is there. Do they have detection? They're going to be able... Yes, they do. There's the dust and a big turnaround from Team Liquid as they take a 3-0 and do it in impressive fashion. That was actually unbelievably well executed. And Demon's Ice Blast really wasn't even that responsible for much of it. Just... It is amazing how much better it feels like Liquid is communicating. Compare this Liquid that we're watching right now that we just watched execute that fight with TC haunting into the right place and them chaining their abilities together to the Liquid that we saw struggling just a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it's an out-draft because I actually really think C9's draft is quite good. I would have to totally agree with you. The communication seems good. They're not making stupid plays. They're not overextending generally. And Koikva was really on point, I feel, in these last few matches we've seen with him. And tower. Yeah, that's a lot of gold coming the way of Liquid. And if you look at the graph, boom, 3,000. It's back to even.
Yep, dead even now. And the experience is actually in their favor. And the problem is, and this is just to highlight something you had said before, and you touched on it, it really does matter, especially given the fact that Koikva's had that Midas up for a while now. It's not going to be long before it's completely paid for itself and it's just pure gravy. On the side, we actually see it is going to be a Helm of the Dominator build on Eternal Envy. So you've got one hero with Midas and then one hero that happens to be a flippin' Spectre. And the later the game goes, the more competent Liquid's going to be for those reasons alone. However, Cloud9 looking to make up some ground, and they will be able to do so with a Roshan taken right at 16 minutes. Here comes Koikva trying to just scare him to death. Bulba's actually right there. There's a decent interruption. And yeah, they're not going to be able to follow it up. Very well shot that time by Pile Die with the fissure. And I actually thought they were going to be able to get it to the other side of it in time to pursue, but Bulba unable to get his Blink Dagger in shape or off in time. And free Aegis for Cloud9 as it ends up going to Eternal Envy.
Yeah, and that's actually really good work from, well, obviously Pile Die. I mean, Earthshaker's so good at counter initiation. It's probably the best hero for it, especially when they lengthen the Fissure. But also, Aoi picking up the early Medallion. And if you look at his build, too, he only has 2 in a Magic Missile. He's gone all points into Vengeance Aura right now, which is why, coupled with the Medallion, that Roche died so fast. If he didn't have that, that could easily been a 1 fight for Liquid.
Yep, completely agree. And Koikva's just continuing to get large and larger and larger. He's atop the net worth now. He's actually opened up about an 800 gold lead on his next closest competitor. Problem is, right now Liquid's kind of top heavy. Spectre, played by TC, is continuing to slowly find some farm, but she's going to have to pick it up soon. She got 2,300 gold tucked away towards that Radiance, so the Relic will be up not too long from now. But it depends on... I feel like there's going to be at least 1, if not 2 more, fairly big fights between now and the time that TC's Radiance comes out. If Liquid can honestly just wait this out and wait on the Radiance, I feel like they're going to be fine. If not, they're going to have to at least break even for the next few minutes while they wait on it.
Yeah, but they have such a good global presence even without the... Like, they don't even need the Radiance for small pickoffs. Nope, action's off.
Koikva right there with Bulba. And Pylai Dai manages to get off the Echo Slam, but ends up dropping to Koikva and Bulba before anyone could follow up on it. Koikva now with 2,600 gold tucked away. What are you thinking here, Scythe of Ice?
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's been doing in most of his games.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I was. Oh, action actually is Rubik.
What are you doing?
Might get caught up. Yeah. No man's land.
Yep.
All right, Rubik.
Waitsu, that's the wrong side of the map, brother. But 8-7. And there's an invis picked up. Go ahead.
That's what I was saying earlier is for small pickoffs like that, you can liberally use the Spectre ulti. And obviously, you can liberally use the Centaur ulti because it's such a low cooldown. And they don't even need the Radiance for small pickoffs like that on Earthshaker. Oh, here we go. Ice Blast top.
And nice shot. Pylai Dai can't get off the fissure. So frustrating. Oh, my God. That and Sniper's mini-stun are the most frustrating things in the world for those long cast wind-ups on spells. Oh, it'll make you lose your freaking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful, but they're really bullying around this Earthshaker. He's going mech, by the way, so he's not going to have a blink anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the age is still up for about another 3 minutes. It seems like Cloud9's actually playing very passive right now. You think that's the right call?
Well, I wouldn't say they're playing too passive. They just got a tower in mid, so that's good for them. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. They need to do something about this Spectre. Once he gets Radiance, like I said, they finally have the blink up on the bat, by the way, but it's really good for canceling that blink. And I guess it is only bad because Earthshaker, like I mentioned, is not going to have one for quite some time. But it's so strong, I feel, in this game because everyone on C9 is so squishy. And so until I think Luna gets a BKB, it's going to be very hard for them to fight against a Spectre that has equal farm. So yeah, they definitely need to be on aggressive. And here we go with the smoke.
They're going to have a chance to maybe catch two, as it looks like Bulba and Koikva want to get aggressive here in their own jungle. They're actually going to end up passing each. Oh, Koikva.
That's really good for Liquid, actually.
Yeah, it is. I thought he was under smoke. He wasn't. It was actually QQ walked in. Sing Sing ends up dropping because of it. Now Bulba right on top of him. Koikva following that up. And now the lasso onto Bulba. They should be able to bring him down. Ice Blast is there, though. We'll connect on AUI. And the rest of C9 looks like they want to retreat. And here comes the Spectre, actually, through the Spectral Dagger. Koikva going to once again use Shadow Walk or I guess just QQ Walk. Waitsu, right-click down as C9 has now gone 2 for 1 and standing right on top of each other, able to force Liquid back. Yeah, whenever he was walking down the river, Bulba was definitely smoked up. And I thought he was under smoke, too. I didn't check to see if he was ghost walking. And
that fight should have gone way better for Liquid, to be honest. I
agree.
Had an easy pick off onto the bottom right there, and Aoi wasted his swap. He had no mana afterwards, but I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the flame break from Bat, or just TC not using his dagger correctly. I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to call him out, but he was stuck on high ground for a while. Could have been the lasso. Like I said, I wasn't totally watching, but he spent that whole fight up on the high ground on the cliff there, so a little bit unfortunate. And some small positioning missteps there, and I feel like it wasn't horrible, but it could have been way better for Liquid.
If we could see, Liquid cut it to 0, but once again, Cloud9, even with the Midas up on Koikva, Cloud9 is still much more efficient in terms of gold. The experience is right dead even after that fight, as Cloud9 erasing what small lead Liquid did have. They're going to smoke again, and there's really no reason not to. Roche is going to be up. It's actually, they're going to lose the Aegis in about 30 seconds, so Roche will be up not long from now. And they're just trying to open things up. I feel like they really need to get a kill on TC, though. There's going to come a point where he's too much of a liability.
Yeah, well, he has his relic now, so 1300 gold away, and there's Koikva actually trying to spot out a smoke. These are like 3 smokes in a row, I feel. And if this one isn't successful, it could set him back a bit because Luna's not farming. Oh, now she breaks it. She's going to be farming, so... Yeah, they're going. They're gunning for TC. Hopefully he has some presence of mind and gets out. They're pinging him.
Oh, what are you going to do, TC? You're running out of time. Cloud9 has it.
No.
Oh, he's coming out to farm. Now maybe thinking better of it. Yep, he's caught.
He's dead.
Very nice play from Cloud9, sticking with it and isolating that target. And that's a kill. They had to know something like that was happening because you just see Eternal Envy break smoke in mid lane and start farming. At that point, you know one of two things is happening. Either his team is here, his team's on the ridge line, or they're heading up that way. And to me, you have to just kind of wager that they're heading for you, given that you are the biggest worry they have for the late game.
I think regardless too, that was just one wave too much that he was, and he didn't even farm it. He was like, should I farm it? Should I not? So it wasn't even like he farmed it and died. He didn't farm it and still died. So
Yep.
kind of unfortunate there for him. But at least he got his relic. I don't think he lost any gold.
Yeah, no, the relic was up. Yeah, I don't know if he lost any gold or not, but still a little while away from having the Radiance fully done. Arrow shot and missed. But as we approach 24 minutes in now, I mean, we were talking about, we can look at the graphs all we want, but just looking at the way these teams are scaling out, the options in terms of item builds with the BKB now up on Envy's Luna following the Helm of the Dominator, which team do you think is in best shape to really begin to be where they want to be come the 30-minute mark?
Well, I think C9 has all their items. Here comes a pot of multi, actually, as it looks like they want to try to do something aggressive in the jungle, but doesn't look like they're going to find anybody. But C9 has all their big items. They got BKB on Luna. They have the dire position advantage as far as getting Roche on every single time. And with Venge, it makes it so easy. So I actually favor Cloud9 a bit right now.
Haste rune up on Bone 7 certainly helps. We can see Liquid is playing very defensive. Right is 5, stretching from bottom lane to mid. And Envy now showing himself and ready to push this tower. They do have a glyph. Bone 7 using Firefly, trying to get in position. Flying along the edge. And oh!
Oh, no.
That's awful.
Oh, no.
There's no way that's intentional. There's no way.
That was like instantaneous.
Yeah, like I'll put it this way: if that was an intentional pause, then he was fast enough to react with that Scythe of Ice and bring him down anyway.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Yeah,
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. So, oh man, that is.
Well, chat's gonna blow up on that.
Yep,
one.
Exactly. Expect Cat was.
Oh God.
Oh, God.
So we got puppy pauses and I'm not gonna say it, but yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Oh,
so
God.
they do blow the ulti. In the meantime, the rest of the team takes the tower. Bulba is up front. Let's see if they can chase him back. We do see that they did obviously try to chase him back there as well. And Liquid falling back after losing the tier 2. Demon right there throwing out the AA ulti, and Bone 7 found himself trapped behind. I thought they were honestly going to push through and engage from the back as Bulba went out to try and prevent it. They ended up just falling back on their own, so they end up trading poor Bone 7 in exchange for a tower. Not even sure how he found himself all the way back here, but yeah, I am. Never mind. He just flew back here.
I think it was actually a team decision to make a diversion for the tower because I feel like they knew he was going to die, so at least just rush past him, and that's what he did. So they got the tower at least, and that was unfortunate though.
Puppy pauses and pussy pauses. Excellent.
Yep, there you go.
Pussy cat. We're a friendly stream. Or family friendly, I should say. Koikva with the pause. Makes a little bit of a difference, but not too big a one. And we can actually see that did favor Liquid in terms of experience anyway. The gold is beginning to get up there a little bit, but still a very, very close game. And we're just at 25 minutes in. And, yep, they're going to go on. Sing Sing. A ulti. Nope, just a little bit behind. The Scythe of Ice was used. Nice swap from AUI if they can follow it up, and they can. There's the ultimate used. Do they have the chain stuns? Koikva, yes, brought down. That's a huge kill. As that's a 969 gold kill off of a great swap out of AUI. He's down and off the map for 60 seconds. And now, with this many at top, they may try to pressure the tier 2 top.
That's so much gold. Oh, no. They had such a good thing going for him, too. And now, actually, the net worth finally is in favor, actually, of EE instead of Koikva. So, yeah, really, really much necessary pick off there for C9. Do we have Radiance up yet for... He's got a... Yeah, it's actually on the courier right now.
So it's going to be on the way.
Radiant's top tower
very late, but it's still decent timing. I mean, it's not like 30 minutes plus like I thought it was going to be. But it'll still have... We'll still see its effectiveness, I think.
Yep. Well, when you look at what everyone's doing, I want to see what Sing Sing wants to buy. He's actually going to get himself a Hyperstone. And I was curious if he would maybe look for a BKB coming up, but doesn't look like that's going to end up being the case at all. AUI has the urn up, so he can help his team out that way. But I agree. I think these fights are going to get, from this point on, it's going to be much more difficult for C9 to try and do what they just did, really. Even just trying to engage on small targets. You can just always bank that a haunt's going to be there. And if at any point someone gets a little too low, you'll see TC come in, Spectral Dagger, then run away. And, yeah, there's going to be a pure Maelstrom build coming out now for Sing Sing.
Demon, he almost has his Ags. He's got 300 gold to the next piece and another 1,000 after that, so not too bad for him. It is actually a little bit later than you'd hope, but obviously Ags at any point is great because I believe it's 17 seconds flat. Yeah, it's amazing. It's got to be the best Ags upgrade in the world, or in the entire game. But here comes, yeah, this is the Roshan, man. Look at how freaking fast this dies. It's insane.
No chance for Liquid to contest this. And at this point, I think they're just banking on items. Getting up the Radiance, now there's a pipe done on Bulba. That's going to help quite a bit. BKB is actually done on the Bat Rider, which is big for him. And his ability to initiate the way he wants to initiate and survive in these fights as long as he can. TC, this is where he's kind of got to shine. I mean, he's got up the Radiance and all that. But I think the next fight or two is going to end up determining the game pretty much one way or the other.
Yeah, I could actually potentially see this going very, very late as well. If Liquid just kind of want to try to turtle this out, because I feel like getting all these early towers is one thing, but high ground's going to be much more. So long that Bone 7 doesn't get an easy pick, because Bat's kind of like the answer for how do we get into the base. Heroes like Bat or Clockwork or just getting up in your face, and Bat's like the best one because not only does he initiate, but he brings the hero backwards. So, yeah, they can turtle out, but they got to be really careful of Bone 7. Really careful.
Taking a look at who's had the biggest impact in terms of kills in the Such. Koikva, obviously at the top with his 7-1. 4-2 on Sing Sing. Another good game for him. 3-1 on Sama. 3-4 on Bulba, who started out quite slow and still not in the best of shape, but has bounced back a little bit. And, of course, the grab bag after that. Overall net worth, Koikva maintains a lead, but only a razor-thin one. 100 gold lead. He and EE both sitting right at 14,000. Then quite a big gulf, but the good news for Cloud9 is they have 2 heroes there, and we can actually see they have 3 of the top 4 in overall net worth.
Yeah, and the straight Mjolnir after drums for Murata is this item's gotten so popular lately, not because of like any buffs or anything like that, but people have been realizing that when you use the active ability with it, that it actually does so much damage when you put it on, your core. So like Luna in this example is going to be so effective. So not only does it deter people from attacking her, but if they do, then it's going to actually do a lot more damage. So I really like this pickup. It's also really good for split pushing, which Murata is innately good for because she has that leap ability at a low cooldown.
There's actually a Hooded Defiance up on the Vengeful Spirit as well. So it looks like they want that pipe to try and crack the base. And for now, looking to take down the last of the remaining outer tier towers. Eternal Envy leading the charge, and I feel like this is kind of essential for them. We're going to see a TP back to try and account for Koikva, who is split pushing at the moment. In mid, no real attempt. They're actually going to lasso him and try to TP back off of it. Both 7 right in position.
Oh no. All they need is one TP at the same time. They have to do it fast though. Yep. Bam. TP in immediate gold.
Yep. And here we go. Koikva going to make a run for it. BKB pop to try and secure the kill. Do they have vision? They don't have vision. In the meantime, Centaur kills off AUI. What in the hell happened there, guys? You know he's going to do that. Now the Eclipse is there from Eternal Envy. He's doing good damage. That's going to be enough to force TC back. The pipe certainly did help out with overall survivability. And now with his BKB off, he's trying to chase Demon. Way2's right there with him, though. And he actually didn't do anything to try and help. Demon using the Urn Charge to try and get back into good shape. Here comes Bulba. He'll look to help out as well. Blinking right on top. Now that they're going to turn it around. Big double edge, and the cold feet will proc. And here comes Koikva. Little greedy, but is it enough? Tornado buys time, and they do pop the Aegis. So the Tornado just enough damage to get that off of him. And, yeah, I feel like that was, they got the tier 2 mid. But you have to know that Koikva, at what point are you going to start carrying some kind of detection? Like, you're going to spend that much to try and go gank him. You know he's going to Ghost Walk as soon as he can.
Yeah, you just need a gem up on the bad. Not even just for the invis, but it's really good. It's like the best tool to have a gem on someone who has high ground vision with like the Bat Rider. So, yeah, they need a gem bottom him ASAP. And unfortunately for EE, that was a 10-second BKB that really didn't do much. So, kind of a small loss for them. But, yeah, it was kind of back and forth. It was kind of an even trade right there.
Koikva going to Ghost Walk in, and, yep, he's going to be spotted out as the creeps show it. There you ping out Sing Sing, and he will be retreating. I actually feel like in the grand scheme of things, and it's kind of been the theme of what we've been talking about all game. The later the game goes, the happier Liquid's going to be. And the fact that they were able to take that situation where they were under siege, they did lose a tier 2, granted, But basically, that overcommitment and then being able to get the Aegis off of Eternal Envy, that just buys them time. So even though obviously they would have preferred a much better overall result, just given the situation they found themselves in, I feel like that actually favors them quite a bit in terms of where they want to go with the late game at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Ags, it's going to be so good. Oh, here comes Center ulti, actually, bottom.
AUI?
That's going to be that AUI, yeah.
And managed to get the wave of terror. Here comes TC. Right on top of him. Bulba's there to help out. And they're going to give that kill to TC. A ulti was there, not even needed. Pylite Die hanging around just to the north. Sing Sing looked like he wanted to head that way. Sing Sing will be getting a Manta style now. Getting that Yasha up following the completion of the Mjolnir. But this is a tight one, man. This game is going to end up going the distance, I think. I mean, it's 10,000 gold in favor of Cloud9, and that's great. I feel like they are definitely in the driver's seat here. But they still need to crack the base. And like you said, they've got a couple of methods to do so. But if Liquid could just hold on for a little bit longer, I feel like this could end up being a big turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, it's up against a Spectre, and I feel like this is a very good Spectre game. Finally, Gem immediately bought. Here comes the AA Blast on the Pylite Die. This should be a dead Earthshaker. He's actually almost got BKB too, but he should fall. Oh, pops the ultimate, doing lots of damage on Koikva. He's juking and jiving for the time being.
Oh, there we go. Oh, he mech'd just before the double edge. He survived through, and space created, if nothing else, in way two. Uses a taste of his own medicine to finally bring him down. But hey, it took a lot. That took 4 heroes from Liquid to kill him after he was caught dead to rights in lane with an Ice Blast.
That's Benny Hill theme song music right there.
Yep, exactly.
Totally. But they finally got the kill on him. And yeah, BKB. No blink BKB Earthshaker. I can't say I've ever seen this.
Yeah, that's, yeah, like you said, no blink BKB. It's kind of an Enigma build, really. When you talk about the way an Enigma tends to build, just say, yep, I'm just going to waddle up and be magic immune and heal myself if I get hurt too much and then do my ultimate. That's just how that's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, C9, they're obviously in a good spot. But again, it's going to be really how many more items can the Spectre get before they try to break the high ground. And yeah, I do love to. Oh, I thought we were going to have some. As Bone7 actually was in busy. There you go.
BKB's all shot out. Koikva's going to end up dropping for sure. And that's a big pick. He does not have buyback either. He's actually going to have it up in just a minute as the passive gold is going to be enough to get him over the hump if they have to have him. Yeah, it's counting down very, very quickly. And there's the boots of travel done, but he's down for a little while. And now Liquid, with their backs up against it. TC is out farming. And did pick up a Vit booster, so he is beginning to tank up a little bit. And looks like they're actually going to back off. And this is, yeah, again, a great pickoff. I do worry that they're not translating these pickoffs as much as they would like to, though.
Yeah, I don't really understand the recipe buy for Koikva on the Lincolns. He's actually going to Lincolns, but why would you buy the recipe? Because he could have saved for a buyback. It's either buy the item in full and then go fight, or just don't buy it at all. Wait, have a little bit more of a safe play. So, not sure I entirely agree with that. I mean, it might not be the biggest deal right now because it doesn't look like C9 is going to push in the high ground or take a Roche or anything like that, but it could have been a big deal.
Yeah. And they almost got TC. The arrow was about 2 or 3 seconds too late. Hasterin picked up by Bulba. They're going to end up heading into the jungle. Now, there is a target there. Ooh, if they can get Envy, this is a big pick, and they're going to have a chance to. There it is. BKB, enough to help him out, and immediately calling for the Moonlight Shadow. Here comes everyone else. Demon's going to TP away. And, yeah, I guess they were just terrified that the rest of Cloud9 was going to be hanging out.
That was just miscommunication from them. Bulbo tried to jump in first, but that is not a good initiate. You needed that. You have a blink on Rubik. You can just blink lift. He also has Fisher stolen, so you could have done it that way. So I think Bulba jumped the gun right there, and yeah, like I said, it could have just been miscommunication. But either way, it should not be the Centaur initiating first in that instance. It should have been the Rubik.
All right, so we've officially hit the point where Spectre is beginning to feel fat. She's picked up a heart, has the Radiance. And, hang on, another catch out on Koikva. They can get the kill here. It'll be huge. And, yep, there he goes. He is down, and his buyback is up if they have to have it. But Koikva, they're doing a good job of picking him off every time he takes any little bit of a step outside of the base.
Okay, you got to help me and explain to me this Roshan timer thing. I cannot figure it out for the life of me.
All right.
It's when the thing finally reaches, the
red.
other red
Right.
Okay.
And see how, like, when it started, there were 3 big ticks, like, on it, like 3 little things. That means, like, that's out of 3 minutes. So you can look at it and say it was because it's already coming up near the red. It's a 2 minute and roughly 5 to 10 seconds, so a 2:05 Roche. But, yeah, whenever it clicks around and touches the red there, it's going to disappear.
I got it. Okay.
Yep. I remember when they patched that in and with that change, and it took us a while to figure it out as well. So don't feel bad.
This is where the Radiant pick, too, is going to kind of bite Liquid in the ass, I think, a little bit, because C9, I believe they chose first pick, and Liquid chose Radiant. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this dire advantage is really, it's already paid dividends for C9, and it's going to continue to do so. Watch how fast this will die. I mean, they actually only have 2 members here, but as they're bringing more, but this is just a free Roche every time it's up for C9.
The gold is up into 5-digit territory now with the Scotty done on the Luna. Very interesting item choice. I mean, we haven't even really talked a whole lot about that. We're going to see Sunstrike not anywhere near on the mark. But, yeah, we have been talking a whole lot about what's going on the map. And in the meantime, Eternal Envy has just gotten so fat. A Butterfly, Scotty, BKB, and is going to be able to get a Satanic up sometime in the near future, already having the Helmet of Dominator up. And, yeah, he's just well-rounded, insanely so. His damage output is quite considerable now, hitting for right around 350 plus on every shot, not including glade bounces. And with him having an Aegis, that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I feel like Liquid just ran out of gas.
Yeah, well, there was definitely some misplays there. Like, they could have easily got that kill on Luna, I feel, or at least had a much better chance. I mean, if they're initiating, they have to have it in their minds that they're going to get the kill. Otherwise, there's no point in initiating. And a couple little misplays like that, I think they could have been in a better position. But it's getting pretty... Oh, here we go. Way too. He's caught.
Down. But they might end up getting Envy in the meantime. Yes, they do end up popping the Aegis right off the bat. BKB finally active on the Earthshaker. And Envy's back up. They ended up trading the Aegis for the Rubik. Now they're going to glyph it. They need to fall back, heal up, figure out how they want to handle this.
Haunt is down, though.
Yep. TC trying to use Spectral Dagger to scare them away. There's a blast, and now they're going to swap Quakeflame. Force staffs himself to safety. AUI's right up front trying to do damage. He's going to Ghost Walk to safety. Racks are still up for the moment. AUI in the meantime will end up dropping. Here comes Envy right on Bulba. Bulba's down as well. That's 2 for 1. And they're actually going to end up being forced out without getting Racks, at least for the moment. They might reset and wait on the wave and come back up. But no, they're going to back. I honestly feel like that's a decent result for Liquid, so long as they don't make the mistake of walking out and dying. And yeah, we're going to see them immediately TP out. That's going to be the Boots of Travel of Bone 7 being used to allow them to just shove this lane even harder. But at bottom, big-ass creep wave pushing on this Tier 2. All the Tier 2s still standing for Cloud9. But the fact that they were able to hold serve there and only lose a Tier 3, I mean, it gives them what they need, time.
Yeah. Oh, that's quick, but you get to kill on the Earthshaker right there. But I think that's actually a really patient play by C9. That's where a lot of teams might take the bait and just try to, just get the racks. But this is much smarter for them. They already popped the ultimate, the BKB. They popped the, actually Cheese is now on Luna as well, but they popped the Aegis on him. Just a much smarter and more safe play, as they know that they're in the driver's seat. They don't have to do anything fancy, so I like it. I like the decision.
32 kills in a 40-minute game split right down the middle. Gold continues to plummet in favor of Cloud9. And Liquid, I thought, was done for there. I mean, Envy is just so huge. And they just weren't able to do much with it. And Liquid able to hang on just a little bit longer. But, I mean, we're getting into the ultra late game. I mean, like, the way I tend to think of the game is the first 20 minutes is early game, 20 to 40 is mid game, and then 40 to into the game is late game. If we end up going ultra late, say 60 minutes, do you think this is Liquid's game to win in that situation, or you think just because Cloud9 has built such a lead to this point that it's going to be tough for them to go that long?
I don't think they can go that long. I think Eternal Envy is way too farmed. Still has a healthy... Oh, actually, it's a 6-second BKB, but he's just way too farmed, way too tanky. He has a cheese on himself as well. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
There's the Scythe of Ice. They're going to try to engage. Look at Envy melt, though. Going down. Nice swap from AUI to get him out of trouble. That's going to buy them time to reset and regroup. AUI is going to end up... Actually, yeah, it does end up dying behind it. In the meantime, they're rushing him down. TC ends up dropping with the Earthshaker using his ultimate. And they will get a Rax perhaps out of this. Yeah, there's the EMP. But losing TC there is just crippling. Finally, the Eclipse out from Eternal Envy. And looks like They will just be happy to take one set of racks. TC's back up and ready to roll. And right on top of him, nice fissure that was stolen by the Rubik. Now they're going to go to work. Haunt's going to be popped. They're going to get a return kill on Envy for sure. Now he's going to be down for 86 seconds. And now I didn't even hear. Oh. There it was. Actually haunted right on top of Sing Sing. Spectral Dagger will get him. So now they're both down. Pylite Eye being pursued. Let's see what Liquid wants to do with this. Do they have buyback? Luna does have buyback, as does Sing Sing. So good kills, but it's not going to allow them to do anything huge. Tower ends up dropping now in the meantime, and they're going to track down Pylite Eye. So that's a triple kill, even though they did lose their racks. And Liquid coming out firing. Even though the battle initially didn't go their way, they get some return kills.
That was such a damn good play by TC. He used the Haunt, and I don't know if he used the Reality twice, because you can, but he got the kill. It was like at the last second that he possibly could, and found a Marana. Obviously, the Spectral Dagger followed him after he left. And then Koika was able to find Earthshaker, caught him out, and so yeah, they might have just turned this around just a little bit. It looked pretty bleak, but Liquid showing signs of life here.
I tell you, the phrase that comes to mind is Pyrrhic victory. That was definitely, you can't say Cloud9 lost the battle in mid, but if it's turning out to be a Pyrrhic victory, in that in exchange they lost 3 heroes, 2 of their cores. They ended up losing now 3 towers. They had 3 tier 2 towers standing. That's a lot of gold. They had to invest the Aegis before. And Liquid has just had time to get more and more on TC. Look at TC already up with a Yasha. He's not far away from having his ultimate orb up to get his Manta style out. And now a Halberd as well. That Halberd is actually a very big pickup on Bulba.
Yeah, it's quite good. And Spectre's finally finding a little bit more farm. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of just Radiant's Heart on him, because while it's good, it makes him quite tanky. You have not AA, but you don't have as much damage as I think, or mobility as you get with the Yasha, which he's probably going to make with the Manta style. So I do like this, though. He's finally getting a 3rd item. And I think even though it does still look bleak, I mean, if C9 is still in driver's seat, if you look at that graph, bam, it actually went up. Let's see, experience is about, like, what, 6K?
Yep.
6K, and I think pretty much the same for gold. So, yep. Yeah, definitely showing some vital signs here in the late stages of the game. Yep. Pretty impressed with specifically TC's play.
Yeah, I mean, C9 got what they wanted. They got and racks, but they only got a melee racks, and it cost them so much on the return. And it seems like that's what always happens to me when I play with my friends, too. It's like, we'll make good plays, we'll win a fight, and it's like, oh, there's a buyback. Oh, we overstayed our welcome. Oh, we lost all 5, even though we got the racks. That's no fun. But 20-18, and Liquid is still behind. Make no mistake. Don't want to overblow it more than is justifiable. However, the item progression on TC does continue, and late-game Spectre is terrifying, especially when you have a Centaur right beside him that's going to have not just the pipe to help deal with magic damage that comes from Eclipse and every other source you happen to have, but also the Halberd to take you out of it. The Halberd to take you out of the ability to even contribute right-click. So if they can get the jump on Envy, and something that's worth mentioning is he's down to just 5 seconds on his BKB. We've seen him use that in a very cavalier fashion, and it's coming back to bite him in the ass right now.
Yeah, that's what I noticed actually as well. I thought it was going to be a higher duration, but he might want to think about rebuying it, to be honest, because the stuns are the fast stuns are what's really going to catch him off guard. But I think it's really going to come down to, for Liquid, 2 things. One, they cannot get caught out by a Batrider ulti. That's really going to make the team fight just go completely sour really fast here. There's an aggressive ultimate from Potom.
They're going to move right up, and they're going to manage to grab Demon. Demon pulled back. Does he have buyback? He does not. He is down for the count. It's going to be 45 seconds until he's back up if they want to try to push off of this. They're pulling back into the jungle for now. But that's a lot of time invested into that if all they get is Demon, if they don't translate it to something a little bit more tangible. That's a Manta style now done on TC as well. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and spread back out. I mean, investing the smoke and the time it took to do that, I mean, it's always good to get a kill, but I don't think that's exactly what they had in mind.
Yeah, that kill really doesn't matter. I mean, Demon has a 40-second respawn timer, so he'll be fine, but I feel like C9 right now, they should probably just play the safe. They already played the safe game once, right? In mid, they backed off when they maybe could have pushed, but they played it smart. I feel at this point, it might even be in their best interest to wait till Roshan. I feel like that would be the smartest thing for them. But it doesn't look like they want to, actually. They're just going to go for it, I think.
Bone 7 using that Shadow Blade, looking for an in. Koikva's way up front. If they pick Koikva off, he does have buybacks, so it still wouldn't be the end of the world. Here comes the A ultimate. That's going to hit 3. Kills off the board immediately. Let's see. Wow.
Oh, BKB popped for no reason.
Yeah.
That pilot eye.
They're just scared to death of being initiated on. Yeah, exactly. Demon just personified what we were thinking. But, yeah, just the AA ultimate alone is so scary that they pull back off of that and buy more and more time as TC just continues to eat up the CS.
Manta purchased by Envy right now, so that'll be good for him. He doesn't have buyback if he dies, but Roshan should be up here very shortly. So, yeah, they're not going to play it unsafe at all. They're going to wait for the Roshan, get it up on Envy. Actually, he won't have room here unless he sells his helmet the Dominator. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do this and divvy this up. Yeah, actually, Roshan just respawned, so.
Yep. But Liquid's in position to challenge this. And actually spin a tornado on Illusions. This could be bad if Bone can get the jump. Oh, if they can get Demon or Koikva in this situation. Demon, ooh, very close. Looked like a little bit. Oh, Koikva coming right back out again. Bulb is right there behind him. He's going to go for it, get the Scythe of Vice off. There's the EMP on top of it. Using the cold step arrow will end up hitting Koikva. Behind that, we see the BKBs go off. They're going to try to engage up the high ground. Koikva's isolated out. Here comes Envy with his ultimate. They do end up cleaning out Liquid as Koikva does end up falling. Behind the fight, we can see they're even going to manage to pick off TC.
No buyback.
Yep.
This could be game. I mean, Roshan's up, but that's a long cooldown. Invoker does buyback.
Yep.
Might stall him just a little bit, but yeah, TC, no buyback.
Such a weird engagement. I'm not sure why they tried to engage him there when he was still fireflying. They're going to end up...
Koikva,
yeah, like it's...
Yeah, Koikva got kind of stutter step right there, and he ran into the arrow, I feel.
Yep.
He maybe could have dodged it if he was just... It was kind of at a very good spot, so you got to give credit to Sing Sing right there.
Oh, hang on. There's a Scythe device behind that. They are going to try to follow it up. Doing what damage they can to the Luna. She did not get caught by that Ice Blast. And still 60 seconds till TC's back alive. But for the moment, looks like they've managed to force them back. However, Roshan is going to be free for the taking. So they're going to have to weather another Eternal Envy Aegis.
It's going to be so hard. And he does sell the Home of the Dominator, as I suspected. And this is now really scary. I mean, Liquid was in a manageable spot, but I feel like this, every time, I said too, it's like the Bat Rider is, if he can get some kind of decent pick off, it's so good about breaking in the high ground, and he has a Lothars as well. I don't know how long he's had this, but just to up the movement speed, up his maneuverability, so yeah, Cloud9, this could be over right about now. Spectre's dead for another 20 seconds. They could get some good damage here.
Liquid trying to set the line. Envy's way up front. And going to rush the hill. And immediately bursting them down. Actually, just here the Bat Rider managing to find one that's going to be brought back up atop. They managed to get Weitu. And Weitu cleaned up outside of it. We saw the arrow shot from the Mirana. Didn't catch anyone. So they managed to bring down the Rubik. In the meantime, TC is back up. Here comes Eternal Envy back up again. Ice Blast is going to be there. Didn't see if it got him. It actually did. So a lot of damage being done. They should be able to get the Aegis off of this, but everything just kind of a cluster right now as Pilot Eye pops zone BKB. Demon swapped in and trying to force that back to safety. Koikva's right there, running back towards the well, but they did manage to bring down another set of racks, and that's probably going to be that one way or the other. They're just going to go straight for the throne now with 3 down, and yeah. It's a long game.
GG, yeah.
Ended up going 50 minutes, but Liquid put up a hell of a fight. Nonetheless, we are going to end up going to a Game 3. And the patience from Cloud9 paid off. I'm not going to lie, there came a point where you couldn't help but wonder if Liquid was going to be able to punish Cloud9 for being a little too passive. But looks like they knew what they were doing, as one would imagine they do. 24-20, they end up walking away with a Game 2 win.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a very solid draft we were talking about, and kind of that one spot where we're like, oh, Liquid can come back from this. They have a Spectre who's actually getting some very good farm now. And I was like, yeah, it's not really a draft issue, though. I think actually C9's draft is quite good, and it is quite good. As you mentioned at the very beginning, the double aura between Luna and Venge seemed to pay off, especially the Roshan. And like I mentioned, with Liquid deciding to take up the Radiant side over the Dire side, maybe been in the ass just a little bit, because how many Roshas was that? I think it was 4.
Yeah.
100% sure, but yeah, Cloud9 able to take every single Roshan obviously had a huge impact that game.
Teams love that Dire side. And end up using it to their advantage. Standout performers, obviously, Sing sitting at 9-3-7, finished up at 468 overall. Gold per minute, and Luna right there with him. So collectively in this game, 16-5 for Eternal Envy and Sing driving C9 through this game and the victory. Just 5-5 for TC. Never really. A couple of times felt like he was revving up and like he was going to be able to get that engine going, but never really felt like the big impact he wanted to be. Of course, was a big part of the return kills that looked like was going to get them back into the game a bit. When they came out, got 3 return kills and then brought down 3 towers as well. Koikva, of course, on the Invoker, finished with the 480 GPM, highest on the side of Liquid. He is 8-4 by the time all was said and done. Tough game for Way2, 1-6-7. And even though he stole a few good spells, didn't really feel a huge impact out of him. Demon, though, on the Ancient Apparition, had some really nice Ice Blasts.
Yeah, he did. I think also that, like, I'm pointing back to that one instance of Rubik and Centaur, but I think there could have been a couple more too, where communication could have been just a tad bit better when you're initiating on someone that has a BKB. With the Rubik has a blink. It's actually had a very, very early blink on the Rubik, and it's so good against heroes that have BKB because it's an instant lift. So they could have utilized that a little bit better, specifically on Eternal Envy, and also really solid game out from Sing. Hit arrows when he needed to. Hit arrows that were clutch, and just had an overall consistent game as usual. So, yeah, well played by C9.
Game 2 done. We're going to a Game 3 or the D2L Western Challenge. Our lone best of 3 of the day. Going the distance, Cloud9 and Liquid all tied up. I'm your host here in AC Chambers. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast, guys. The voice you're hearing on the other end, that's, of course, Tralf You can find us both on Twitter. I'm at AC and AYESEE. He's at Tralfdota, TRALFDOTA. Game 3 and the conclusion of the series coming up next. Stick with us. We'll be right back.